Welcome back. Perhaps because I'm a glutton for punishment, I am going to play another rated rapid game on chess.com. I just lost 2 in a row. Right now, today, they're in previous videos. One was just an analysis, one was actually me playing the game. I think that's how I'm going to end up editing those. And both of them were trappy, tricky type things rather than just regular openings. So I'm going to play one more in the hope of actually getting to practice the openings that I've been practicing. And I'm just going to click play and let's go. I'm down under 1300. Okay, we have Don't Wake Daddy. Well, I'll try not to wake Daddy. We're going to get a Caro-Kann defense. We're going to get this version of it. I don't even know what that's called. I think it's just a normal version. I learned the other day that e6 can be very common here, but I don't know if that's now. I think e6 was when their queen was pointed there. So I think I can go ahead and get this bishop out. Okay, that's attacking this pawn, but that pawn is defended by my queen. I am going to play this, which I think now they're going to try to check me. And then I'll block with the knight. Very often when I pull this pawn out, that's when they try to check me. This is an attempt to trap my bishop, but I'm not going to let it get trapped. I'm going to drop back in here. Okay, now they are going to try to check me. I'm going to block it. They may or may not take. They're going to try that version. Okay, that's where when they take and I take, then they take with the knight first. Yeah, that's the version here. Well, I'm going to try to put a stop to that with the queen, so now I have 2 defenders on the knight. Usually my opponent castles at this point. I don't know if that's what's going to happen here. It is not what's going to happen here. They're putting another defender on this pawn, even though it was already defended, or maybe that's just where they wanted to develop the bishop to. If I were them, I would have put it here. So when I took, my queen would be in danger, and I'd be in danger of a discovered check. That's what I would have done if I were them. But they didn't. So should I try to force this trade here now? Let's you know what? Let's get rid of this tension right here, right now. They did not want to do that. Well, then I want to do this and get that bishop not pointed at this knight anymore. They wanted, I don't understand. Okay. They want to maintain the tension. I can put this knight here to help protect that knight, or I can check, but then they would, wait. Usually they can block that check with a knight, but they can't here. Now they have to block with the pawn, bishop, or queen, and then I win this bishop. Yeah, they can block this way, or this way, or move the king out of check, and then I get this bishop. So I'm a piece ahead. No, I'm 2 pieces ahead, but down a couple of pawns, because they gave up their knight for 2 pawns earlier. Now they just gave up their bishop for free, and then they traded knights. Okay, I don't know if they should have traded while they were down, but I can do this now. No, they blocked that. Okay, maybe they saw it coming. I need to get these pieces out so I can castle, so let's do that. I think I am winning this game somehow, some way. But as you know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, that can be given up really quickly. So I'm going to try to be careful. My king is now castled and my rooks are connected. So if they try to do something here like this in order to discover an attack on my rook is protected by the other rook. It's also protected by the queen for that matter. I think I can fork those 2 pieces this way, which I would really like to do. I can go ahead and trade off that. Okay, I'm going to trade there. And then I'm going to trade here if they take back with the queen. They took back with the pawn, and now that pawn is hanging. They can attack that bishop, but I don't know if it's a good idea. They did, but I'm going to bring it back this way, I think. Attack their rook, which they'll need to move, and then I'll put my bishop right here. Yeah, I think that's a good place for the bishop. It's protected by this pawn, and it's blocking their c-pawn from moving forward. That just looks like a free pawn. I'm pretty sure that's a free pawn because my queen is protecting that square, and they want to keep trading pieces. Okay, not sure what that's aiming for either. Should I try to bring a rook down here? And my queen always has room to run. I think I'm going to take control of this other open file here. I don't think they have a way in with their queen, do they? No. So I am going to come this way, aiming there, which is their queen's on the other side of it. I can even bait that with this bishop move. Depends on what they do. Okay, they went to protect it, and I take advantage of that. I could drop my queen here to point at that pawn, or I could drop my queen here to point at their rook. What if I put my bishop there to point at their rook? Then I can check and also be aiming at their rook at that point. If they block with the rook, I'm just going to take it. Oh, they didn't. Okay, well, they just hung their rook. Back above 1300. Oh, and it says I had mate in 6. I probably would not have checkmated my opponent in 6 moves. I'm guessing if they had kept playing, it would have taken me quite some time. Maybe 12 moves, maybe 20. I don't know. But at this point, my goal was going to be to try to trap their queen. or begin chipping away safely at their pawns while keeping their queen away from my king. That was going to be my goal here, as long as their queen was on the board. I knew since they gave up that bishop with the check that I had an advantage. But I'm going to see with the game review if I had an advantage before that. If you've made it this far in the video, I do appreciate it. I really do. Wow. It says I played with 95.1% accuracy. Well, then it's a good thing I recorded this. Because otherwise this person might have thought I was cheating. I had one oh wow. My opponent did really well too. They only had one blunder. Okay, my queen to a5 check was a great move. Well, good. I only had one great move? Okay. But I was already ahead before that, was I not? Yeah, I was already well ahead before the check. Okay. So what was the move their blunder was taking? Okay, I wondered if that was a blunder. They should have just got the bishop out, right? But I was already ahead at that point too, according to this. Yeah, they should have pulled the bishop back. I was already ahead here, and they should not have given the knight up for those two pawns. Okay, that was an inaccuracy. They should have, I'm guessing they should have brought it back here. When I challenged with the pawn, no, it says, oh, they says they should have captured here, and I would have taken, then pull the bishop back. Interesting. But I still had a very slight advantage at that point. So if they had played their best move, yeah, I wouldn't have captured here. I would have captured here. And I know that. I know that because this is the piece that's going to put me in check. It's the bishop on b5 that's going to put me in check. Now, even if I take here and they bring the bishop back and we trade off our light squared bishops, which is probably what would have happened, I was going to take here. And then their knight would have been able to escape. And yeah, and Stockfish eventually decided that this would have been better. They would have had to bring this knight back, and I still would have had a slight advantage. I don't know what I would have done with that advantage. This pawn is hanging, and it says I would just leave it there. Really, I don't have anything protecting that pawn. It says that right now I would just get this knight out. Why wouldn't I push this pawn? Would that be a blunder of some kind? Oh, because it's the square that's undefended. It's the square. Okay, so I would just play knight to f6, and they wouldn't take that pawn. What if they did take the pawn? What would I do? My queen's in danger. Oh, I would just check, and then they would put the knight back, and I would still have an advantage by playing bishop to a3. That's a3, right? Okay. Well, I'm a little confused. What if I had played bishop to a3? And it says they would not take. Why not? What would be so bad if they took? That would be a mistake. Oh, because that's what was protecting the knight. Well, it's a good thing it didn't go that far. All of that was hypothetical all the way back from here. It says that they should have taken the knight was their best move. But instead they moved the bishop back, which allowed me to throw the pawn forward, which wasn't even my best move. Incredible. b5 was my third best move. Nope, now it's my second best. Stockfish has reevaluated my move. Oh, I have three moves that are all about the same. Okay, so b5 was one of my three tied for best moves. Game Review thought it was best, and they should have dropped back, but they didn't. Here's where they sacrificed the knight, and that was the blunder. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure about that, because once I did this and they did that, I still had two pieces pointed at this, and now I don't have a pawn defending it anymore. I'm so glad I saw that check. It's the only move that takes advantage of that blunder. Otherwise, I would have had to do this to add a defender to the knight. Well, that worked out okay, and now I can end my day above 1300, but just barely. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.